Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars and Fire, and my real name is Michelle Espinosa. And I want to tell you about this week's reading for April 11th until the 18th. But I usually start out with giving you a little bit of astrology, a little bit of spirit information, and then the runes. This week, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a detour on that. And I actually have a reason why. See, I have a girlfriend of mine who talks to me often about her, learning of her gifts, her growing, her evolving, her starting to understand oneness or wholeness. And sometimes her lack of it. And what I love about it is she comes to me and she's like, Michelle, I am trying to be positive. I'm trying to be uplifting. I am trying to be inspiring. But they are still working on me. I love that. She's like, they are still working on me. And you know why? That's great, because she's admitting ego sucks, and sometimes I really have to deal with stuff and admit stuff, and I'm not always doing a good job, but I acknowledge it, and they're still working on me. The reason I say that is because last week we had a new moon, which typically we usually see as new beginnings, new starts, good positive feeling energy. Now, I'm getting that split down the middle, positive, negative, kind of colliding from a lot of different people. And actually, there's a really good reason for that. Depending on how sensitive you are, may have landed you into that they are still working on me energy for last week. Now, I'm going to go in and explain in a little bit of that so that it will help us move forward into this week. But first off, I have to tell you about one of my gifts, and I'm stepping into one of my uncomfortable zones, because it's not one of my gifts I like to talk about. It's one of my less favorites. And the reason why is not something that I'm very favorite at. I love very much. It's sad. And the reason why is and I'm assuming the more connected you are, the more you're finding your empath energy, the more you're finding your abilities for oneness and wholeness, the more you'll start to feel these, although you may not understand. And that's why I'm coming forward with it. See, because unfortunately, when there's a very large amount of death that happens, it's one of the signs that I get from Earth. And then I know typically to go in to like the world news and discover exactly if I'm right, which I usually am. But I don't know where it's coming from or what it's going to be. I have to look it up. And the reason why I'm bringing this to you is because the planet Earth last week lost a lot of members. And to be honest, it started in Pakistan with a flood. Anywhere from 60 to 100 people, and thousands were affected. There was some earthquakes and injuries there. And then India, there was also in a Hindu temple, there was 98 people that were killed, according to fireworks that went off in the temple. An explosion, more or less. And a couple hundred were affected and injured. When you have that much devastation hit, it's unfortunately just like manifestation, works in positive and negative ways. So when that much fear and that much pain and death all spreads, for those who pick up energy, it's going to be easy to pick it up. But by the time it might have gotten to you, it may just be fear you're getting, or blame and bitterness or anger inflexibility, stubbornness. A lot of that might have been coming through for you, which might have been some of that energy, and they are still working on me. Because you may have been picking up that energy, but you didn't know. And that's the only reason why I'm saying it, and I'm coming out with the fact that that's one of those things that I tend to pick up. Because I'm sure others who are very sensitive can pick up things throughout the world as well. Now, with that being said, I want to remind you also, a lot of people forget these things. Saturn is in retrograde. And you've got Mars and Pluto and Mercury about to go in retrograde, so they're technically in shadow. That could be some of that they are working on me energy. See, because I have some that felt very powerful and coming into their power and comfortable. And some who pretty much felt powerless, restless, fear, bitterness, anger, inflexibility, stubbornness, anger, frustration. All of these different things were coming through from what Spirit was giving me. Saturn, when it's in retrograde, you got to understand Saturn, first off, is your seriousness. It is your patience. It is your discipline. It is your responsibility. It is your endurance. It is your organization. And when it goes retrograde, it kind of shows you where all of that ain't really working. Mars and Pluto is in their shadow and about to go retrograde, I believe, within this week. Yeah. And Mars is your SWAT team. So your warrior might have been starting to come out. And Pluto is your absolutely, this stuff has to happen. So aggressiveness might have come out for you last week. I'm seeing a lot of orange in the physical nature, which is creative in energy. It's also self-control. It is also courage. It is also your thoughtfulness. And I'm seeing a lot of red, both directions. So in your spiritual as well as in your physical. And this is saying this is what you're also creating. So this is why I'm bringing it to you. It is strength. It is passion. It is fear, though. It is anger. It is also ego. So it can go either way. The red can. But I'm being told before I go any further into the reading, you need, baby, to find your faith. We all need to find our faith and become completely grounded in it, so we are strong and sturdy in it. But we are able to lift up and fly at the same time. So we are able to believe and leap into that faith and not be one of little faith. I am also being told, Spider is showing me webs. You are weaving your webs right now. And I'm being shown a left foot. You are stepping into your spirit. What are you choosing to step into? I am also being shown trees for grounding again, but as well for stretching to the sky. As well as Pegasus, same thing. Next, I want to remind you, last week was 4 of 4. That is your doors opening. That is your elements coming together. That is your creator energy. It is the moon, the sun, the stars, the universe. It is also snail. Snail being a creator within itself. Also being cleaning, cleansing, letting go. So we had on the new moon, divine magic. It was the 7th. But with me saying all of that, we're still in the month of 4, which can be the creator. What is next month? 5. 5 is life-changing and long-term events. So you might be coming into the construction of that. Just because things may not have worked out quite right last week in the way you thought, doesn't mean they're not working out. But I am being told to tell you, stay positive and stay optimistic. Positive and optimistic. You have to be full and strong in your faith as to having hope and moving forward. Stay positive. You are manifesting it. You are creating it. You have to stay positive. Don't let those sad, terrible events of those who died, may they rest in peace, and all of their families find peace and blessings. But don't let that negativity that came from all of that pain and that fear back you up and take you the wrong direction. I'm also being shown Panther again. Panther, I had said, and if you saw the first 6 months reading that I gave of this year, I was given a little stray black cat who looked really tattered and worn out and was having just some problems. But he grew up to be the Panther. And what I am being told is to show that Panther, because the Panther grows into understanding and becoming a valor. This is where you need to hear this part. As the Panther grows into understanding valor, he's not coming into, I fell from grace. He's coming into, no, I ascended to grace. Honey, it's about finding grace. Finding your grace. Ask for hope if you have to. Ask for grace if you have to. Ask for help finding it all. But it's about ascending to grace, never about falling from grace. Now, I'm going into the reading. The reading starts off with what they are giving me foremost. The most important thing that they are sending me is radio. It is coming in Muggle Stone, which is your empath stone for grounding and separating energies. It's also for creating. Radio is the ride, the riding, Thor's chariot. It is air. It is the world of rhythm and rhyme and the dance of life. Focuses on matters of order. That would be Saturn. Justice, change through preparation. That would be the changes coming in. Structure of outward control or of its issues. So these are coming from outside of just you. So stay positive. Indicates also a journey over land, such as in a vehicle possibly. But it points to people involved in practices of law or skilled ritual artwork. Rules, ceremonies, magical artwork, magical rites, principle of outward order, justice, and change. The channeling of energy according to natural law. Rhythm, rhyme, and dance of life. Controlled movement. Primal order expressed in ethical relationships and also to the environment. Runecraft of self-order and measured change. Runecraft of self-order and measured change. There is your Panther, finding valor and ascending to grace. Stay positive. Stay positive and have belief in yourself. Have faith in yourself, honey. Growth through planning and preparation. Experience in outer world, logic and ethics are applied. Wise counsel, justice, just rewards, legal matters, personal control, responsibility, or, again, journey over land. Now, I am going to go to the next one, because there's only 3. As soon as I locate it, we have Iwaz, coming in truth and honesty. And Iwaz is the Yi tree, the axis of life and death. Safety, strength, reliability, dependability, trustworthiness. Points to issues of discipline. Transforming change and that need for that total commitment. Stay optimistic. May indicate a powerful intuition or a great loss or deep discontent. Describes situations of denial, deprivation, or even hardship. But it is a positive influence. Can show the presence of someone working with their own magical power. Principle of regeneration of cycles of life and death, with the death letting go of something being the rite of passage here. Endurance, sacrifice, undertaking rites of that transformation, the positive influence, situation, release of your latent powers, essential polarities, though, of the principles of your light and dark will be showing themselves to you. Reliance into the greater cycles of life. Power companion of one who is walking their path and having a commitment to it. The only choice, transcendent consciousness as well. Now, the last one is more of, I'm going through my book here. The last one came through at a much different vibration. Very strong, but uncomfortable. And the reason I know it's uncomfortable is because that's going all the way back to everything that I just said about the different energies that are coming through. The Saturn, the Pluto, the Mars, the Mercury, all mixing together, along with the angels helping with the change, and the energies that came from, unfortunately, all the deaths that Earth had. This is one reason why on all the different things like Twitter, Facebook, and so forth, the social networks, why I was saying to send healing to Earth. We have Thorisol. And I never can tell on the video. But Thorisol is coming in both directions. And I'm going to start with it being inverted. And this is coming in truth and honesty for you. So this is more of a awareness. Truth and honesty. Be aware of this week. Because the same thing might be continuing on. And this is why they want you to stay positive. It could be brutal forces. Brutal forces. It could be betrayal. It could be defenselessness. It could be danger. It could be compulsive reactions. Hostile or environment suffering through violence. Violent and dangerous people. Warning, do not push. Last week, I got the warning, do not push. Turned the correct way. Thorisol points to a sudden something, sometimes, somehow, change. It can feel like a violent event. Typically, it is a positive thing, even though it may feel aggressive and violent, how it comes through. It can be hostile, an aggression, but it can also indicate the powerful and stunning breakthrough. May show the presence of a violent person as it's coming through it, but it can also be erotic. Events of powerful and compulsive nature. Symbol rules the talisman of magical objects. Principle of nope, I'm told him to leave that out. Action, reaction, hostile, reactive forces. Essential. Nope, being told to leave that part out. Nope. Penetrating force, possibly, for that breakthrough in the breaker of resistance. Compulsion that needs to be mastered. Conscious breakthrough against unconscious forces. Conflict of your shadow self. They are still working on me. Those who oppose us are also our teachers. So there are your warnings of don't push. Be honest about your action and your reaction and what may be coming your way. But most of all, stay positive. Know that Saturn is already in retrograde. So it's your patience, your discipline, your responsibility, your endurance, your organizations might feel a little bit out of whack. And Mars is your SWAT team. So your warrior might jump out a little easier. As well as Pluto is those that just has to happen. And Mercury, we all know about Mercury. So just stay positive and don't let those negative forces just make your mouth jump right out and wish that they didn't. Have a wonderful week, and I wish you so much love. And again, to all of those people in Pakistan and India and families of those who have died, blessings to you and your families, and may they rest in peace. Bye, everybody.